I am Pastor Kevork, founder and senior pastor of the Spring of Life Church. I had an awesome encounter with Jesus in 1994 when I was a 24-year-old worldly mechanic. After that encounter, I began to hear God's voice through reading the Bible. During this journey, I fell in love with Jesus, who became my teacher and my mentor. And I submitted to His will through the words I read in the Bible. I committed myself to a unique life of prayer for 8 years. Until the Lord spoke to me and said, I am going to send you around the world to win souls, and I will heal people through mighty signs and wonders. In 2008, our ministry became a licensed church in Lebanon. And so, the Spring of Life Church was born, functioning under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Council of the Evangelical Community. The ministry of the church is primarily focused on reaching people of all ages and various ethnicities to grow and prosper spiritually, socially, and physically. The purpose of the Spring of Life Church is to accomplish the Great Commission through evangelism, teaching, missions, charity, and the implementation of effective plans in cooperation with all churches and Christian institutions operating in Lebanon and throughout the world.
And I just want to give a brief shout out to Spring of Life Church. And this is an incredible work. One of our partnering groups that we work with around the world. They are in the heart of Beirut, Lebanon. They have been planted there by God. This is a vibrant congregation that's right in the heart of the Middle East. And we've partnered with them not just for that place of Beirut and the whole of country of Lebanon, but also into other parts of the Middle East.
Eight years ago, in 2013, the Lord told us to purchase a land and to build a church building. In obedience to His command, the church purchased a land of 1,036 meters square in Beirut, Mount Lebanon. During the 2020 Christmas season, in the midst of the Lebanese economic crisis, the Lord told us to start building the church. The Lord said, do the preliminary budgeting to start the construction, and I will bring in help from sources you would never imagine. As an act of obedience, and after receiving confirmations while in prayer and fasting, we started the planning process and the preparations, and by God's grace, we have raised $1.3 million.
Pastor Kevork and his congregation, his family, they are apostolic. They are a planting of heaven, and they are doing an incredible work there. And I've watched and traveled there many, many times and seen how they've grown into the hundreds, even 700, 800 people. And then I've now just witnessed how they have raised the resources to build a building. And I just want to encourage people to get behind this project. They have raised more than 60% already. They only have a few $100,000 left to go. And I want to put my full backing. This is a man of God, Pastor Kevork. His church is a godly planting. They have run ISOM. They've trained their leadership using our content. And they are true and godly believers. The church income comes mainly from the members of the congregation,
which could be invested in the community more efficiently if the church owned its building. The privately owned church building will accommodate the growing number of our congregation, which grew from 40 to more than 400 members, in addition to the non-members attendees, and will make our multiple services more accessible to them and to the community. Another main reason is that our services are also growing in number and diversity in response to the country's circumstances and our community's needs. Alongside the pastoral care, our church carries out multiple worship services, catering to different age groups throughout the week. Caring for the needy has always played a vital role in the daily life of the Spring of Life Church. Since the blast of August 4, 2020 in Beirut, our church has reached out to affected families by extending support in removing rubble and debris from damaged apartments and shops, providing humanitarian aid and sharing the gospel. This response started with the victims of the blast and is expanding to include families affected by the economic crisis that became worse as a result. Different outreach ministries also reach the ethnic groups and refugees who fled wars in our neighboring countries. We serve them through a carefully planned set of activities: worship services, children and women's ministries, special retreats and events, medical services, humanitarian assistance, home visits, social and recreational activities. The Spring of Life Church believes that every individual on earth must not only be reached but must be discipled as well. The Soul Church Bible School curriculum includes 3 levels: the Church School of Ministry, second, the ISOM International School of Ministry, which is the biggest Christian video Bible school in the world and for which we are the regional center, and third, the Vision International University. The most important reason why we are so determined to have our own church building is that we have been called to become a lighthouse and a beacon of hope in a country with no hope left, where the majority of Christians are living due to the continuous civil unrest, threats, and economic crisis. The project consists of the above-ground church building that includes the 700-seat sanctuary and 4 underground basement floors of offices and childcare facilities, classrooms, a conference room, and a multi-purpose hall, as well as parking areas. We will start the first phase of the project, which consists of the excavation and shoring work, in June 2021. This phase needs 4 months to be completed. Then we will proceed with phase 2 in November 2021, which consists of the structural works, and the third and final phase in May 2022. The first 2 phases of the construction will cost $2,150,000. The church, through its members worldwide, raised the amount of $1,300,000, which is 60% by God's grace and blessings. Meanwhile, we are still in need of $850,000 to complete phase 1 and 2.
And I have no hesitation endorsing them and asking whoever is touched by God, has a heart for the Middle East, please sow into this work, this Spring of Life Church there in the heart of Lebanon in Beirut.